Hello. Okay, we are recording.
Okay. Oh,
we are.
My name is Rachael, and you all know that, but these are my friends.
Hi.
Here. This is Sophie Littlefield right here. Juliet Blackwell. We just worked out that between us, we have 56 published books. So
Yes.
I'm picking on them, and I'm going to make them talk to
We're
each
very
other.
tired. We're very, very tired.
We're all a little bit punchy from writing. Can you please tell me what you write? Tell the class what you write, Julie.
I have a couple of mystery series that are paranormal. They're both paranormal. I have a former mystery series that was more of a traditional cozy. And now I also write women's fiction that are standalone novels.
Awesome.
And I'm only published because I went to Julie's How to Get Published
That's
class
the only reason.
about 9 years ago.
That's why I take a cut of whatever she gets.
Right. Which is why she's going to retire rich. And I started mystery, and then I wrote young adult, and then I wrote thrillers, and now I write women's fiction, and I write historical.
You write everything.
Yeah.
With
She
all of
writes
us
everything.
at this table, we almost write everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was it like, Sophie Littlefield, getting published for the first time?
Oh my goodness. Well, the first time I was ever published was actually in True Confessions magazine. And it was amazing.
I love that.
I love
It
that
was
too.
wonderful. It was like one of the best moments of my life. I had a baby with me. I guess it was the little one. And I saw and I didn't even have a byline because it's a confession. So, and I picked it up in the Walmart, and I just felt it's one of the best moments. It is probably the best, other than getting my agent and meeting you guys, of my whole publishing career.
Aww.
Yeah. It was amazing. Is that what you were asking?
Yeah. Julie, what was yours?
And what was the question?
What was it
what
like
did it feel like?
first being published?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. I think anybody who tries to write, I think that, all writers are voracious readers, at least in my experience. And the idea that you've actually been accepted into the club of publishing, and then that your book is going to sit on the shelf next to other books in the bookstore. I have to say, when I first got the call from the agent that I was going to be published, I was over the moon, of course, and I think I had some celebratory scotch that night. But it was really the moment I walked into, I think it was a Barnes & Noble, and saw my book on the shelf next to other books. That was the big moment for me. Because that was and then I'm like, nobody knows it's me. It's like, look, I'm famous.
I had this whole thing I was going to say to the Walmart cashier when I bought 3 copies. And I had it all planned out, and she's like,
whatever.
$8. And I never got anyway. Yeah,
That's funny.
Once I was buying a book, and I don't know why I was doing this, but it was my own book, and I was buying it at a store in the mall, and they asked for ID, so I turned the book over.
Nice.
Oh, that was
Very
great.
nice.
That's really
I like
suave.
that is suave. That's very suave.
Okay, what is the best part of your job as a writer?
Well, it's very therapeutic. I work out all my issues through the page.
On purpose, or does it just accidentally happen?
No, and at this stage, I know that it will take a while. It'll take about 2 years for me to understand. 2 years later, I go back. I think it's therapeutic in the moment, but 2 years later, I'm like, oh, that's what that book was about. But what I also love about it is just the freedom to set my own hours, which is worth the world to me. I love that. And I get to read all the time.
I know. Part of our job.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would say the freedom is huge, certainly, of being self-employed. I love research, and I love to tell people I'm working when I'm researching whatever fascinating topic I'm looking at. Because it's great. You get to walk around and talk to people and read things that are about something you're interested in anyway, which is fun. But for me, the number one best thing is that moment that for me does not come along that often, when I'm writing and the words are just flowing and I'm feeling like I don't mean to be woo-woo about it, but I'm feeling like I'm tapping into something it's just pure creativity when it just starts to flow. And I'm also a painter beforehand, and it's every once in a while with painting, it's the same way. It's like things just flow and come together. And it's not even a conscious translation of what I'm trying to say. It's just kind of happening. And it doesn't happen that often, but when it happens, it's like, I don't know, I've never tried crack, but I imagine it's a little bit like crack. It's the best feeling in the world. And it's great because that keeps me wanting it to get there again.
Do you have that in a first draft or a revision? I've only ever felt that while I'm revising because I hate first drafts.
Really? That's
Never felt that in the first draft. How about you?
Every once in a while, you never
Yeah.
have that thing where you write a scene and you're like, damn, I'm good.
Only when I'm on deadline and I'm rereading it like later. I don't remember. I've usually like an epilogue. I won't remember writing it all.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about this, the three of us, that all of us, we need a little time away from our work to come back and go, oh, that was pretty good. Yeah, so there is that tendency
It
to be
didn't
like,
suck as much as I
yeah,
thought.
right.
Yeah.
And for new writers, which you are talking to a bunch of them right now, how do you go about getting better at writing? Period.
Oh my goodness, do more of it.
Okay.
Write your ass off.
Mhm.
Write your ass off. It's never enough. You gotta write. You gotta write more than you thought possible, and you gotta read more than you thought possible. And
But what about when you sit down and you're writing and you know it's terrible?
Then I guess you better write some more. No, seriously,
Yes.
None of us were. We were all shit when we started.
Yeah.
Okay, we were.
Can you say that?
Yes.
I just
I just made up the rules. I make the rules, and yes.
She's the boss.
She's the
She's the
boss.
boss. No, we all wrote horribly when we started. Well, you didn't.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think the biggest problem for beginning writers, or any writers for that matter, is the lack of words. You just have to sit down and write some more. And we've all had a number of days where everything's shit. And I have a good friend of mine who was coaching people writing their PhDs, their dissertations. And she asked me, she's like, how do you get over writer's block? And I said, by sitting and writing some more. And she's like, what does that even mean? How can I use that, for my own coaching? And I said, they have to sit down and just write through it. Sometimes you have to write 1,000, 5,000 really bad words, and eventually something's going to come to you. I mean, either that or, don't give up the day job. But if you're really going to commit to the writing, I think that's why having daily word counts really helps. I'm sure we'll be talking about that.
Daily word counts?
Yes.
What do they range from?
Well, at the start of a project, I really have a hard time getting rolling. So then I aim for 1,500 to 2,000. And in the, towards the deadline, I'm at 5,000 a day. And then this last time, as I think I shared with you guys, I had that 11,000 word day.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was.
That's not a good idea.
It turns out it wasn't a good idea. No, I'd say, yeah.
I bet that'll be one of those when you read it, it'll be really good and you will not remember having written it.
Yeah.
Well, Barb my agent always says to aspiring authors, she says, write 2,000, read 2,000. So every day you should aspire to read 2,000 words. I think that's low.
A great plan. Well,
Yeah.
but it's a great for people who aren't reading at all. I think
Right.
It's a great
So,
plan.
and then you should write 2,000 words as well.
That's fantastic. How about you? What's your word count goal like?
It's usually around 2,000 when I'm comfortable, and then more toward deadline
more
it's about
panic.
5,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've done more than 5. I don't think I've ever done 11. I've probably done 7 or 8,000, but
I did 9 once.
but I feel maxed out at 5. There's just, for me, the creativity is no longer there. So if I can at all, I mean, I can go back. If I'm under the gun, I can go back and do editing, but the creativity, there are only so many words coming up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we've
Then
talked,
you're
the three of us have talked about that with some of our friends too, that 5,000 or 4 or 5 hours is really about all humans can do.
for new creation.
Really, yeah.
Right.
I mean, you can clean bathrooms the rest of the day, but it's not, I don't think we have it in our brains to do a whole lot more than that.
Right.
Yeah.
And certainly not consistently. What I like about the 2,000 is that feels like a good effort, and it's something that is fairly attainable. Even on really hard days, you can still
get up early. And
sometimes it's like it's only 1,000 words, really, and but you can keep going for that extra 1,000. So.
Yeah, if you guys are on a roll and you hit 2,000 and that's your goal for that day, do you keep writing? I know personally I don't. I just stop. I'm good.
I think we differ that way.
Yeah.
But I think I'm working on that balance thing. So maybe I don't know. I tend to keep going.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What do you do?
If I'm on a roll, I keep going.
Yeah.
I really I don't believe in the idea that you have to sit around and wait for inspiration to strike or wait for your muse to talk to you, and that's probably obvious in terms of what we're saying. I think all of us are more work a day. You have to get there. But I do always tell people that when inspiration strikes, if it strikes when you're in the grocery store, if you're in the aisle at the grocery store or something, take your notes and never disregard that, because I think it does happen sometimes that you get the inspiration, and if you can at all, go home and then write. That's great, and that's a really magic moment. And even if the scene isn't the next scene you're supposed to be writing or something, sometimes it can happen like that. So I think we should never despise inspiration, never kind of blow off the muse, but I don't think you can sit around waiting for it. I think you have to kind of sit and get it done. So for me, if I'm on a roll with 2,000, I'll just keep going. But sometimes then I'll cheat the next day. I'll be like, well, now I only have to do 1,500. If I made a little extra.
So really what it comes down to is math.
Yeah.
All writing comes down to it. Well, thank you, ladies. Thank you very, very, very much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.